afternoon, not evening, and welcome to a Saturday afternoon edition of the Hard Cam Live. My moral support, as always, hot Paul Rogers this afternoon. Paul, how you doing, man?
Oh, it's too hot in Canada. It's too hot. We're almost in July, and I can't. My ginger ass can't take this heat.
That's something you don't hear a lot, that it is hot in Canada. Now, granted, I know it gets hot up there, and I think I told you this before. The last time I was, I've been there twice, but the first time I was there, I was in high school, we were taking a trip, I was in band, blah, blah, blah. This one time in band, we'll get through them jokes, but our spring trip was to Toronto, and, it was May here, so it was pretty damn hot here, and, we get down there and up there, whatever the hell you want to call it, and we're, we're all taking our shorts and this, that, and the other, and the hotel we stayed at was attached to like a small mall with like 15, 20 shops in it or stores. Mm-hmm. We were all in those stores buying pants because none of us, we all had shorts and stuff that we took. So yeah, cold, hot in Canada. No, I'm sure, but I've never seen it. So, but
it's mostly honestly just July and August. Everything else is reasonable. Those 2 months are for what everything else is. It's too much. It's way too much. My dog.
Before we dive into this, I'll just say, you came on and before we got ready to go live, and I see you all hot and glistening, and I thought it was because you were seeing me on a Saturday afternoon, but you had to go and kill my hopes and dreams. It's okay.
Oh, it's just one of those almost July days. Oof.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, you know what? July is a special month, man. It's my birthday, and God bless her soul. Sarah's birthday was 4 days after mine. I always told her she was a late birthday present to me, and out of 4 children, the first 3 were born in November, and when she was born in July, I was like, thank God. Because November and December, when they were little, was rough. Well, let's get to this, man. Night of Champions, I guess, here in the States, and up there with you guys in the land of the hockeyness. That would be the Day of Champions. They are in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia this afternoon. And I watched a little bit of SmackDown last night. It was taped. I'd seen a lot of clips online. It wasn't anything I really cared about seeing. I didn't think Trick Williams was kind of cute when he came out talking about his wedding with Lash Legend. It's always good to see the boys and the girls when they get time to take time off and actually live their lives and look genuinely happy. So Trick Williams seems to be a well-liked individual in the back. So we'll just start with him. Ricky States, whatever you want to call him, and Trick Williams for the United States Championship. And Ricky is the one part of SmackDown, that segment last night was – when Ricky come out and interrupted him, I thought Little Yachty was a one-time thing with Trick Williams, a couple-time thing here and there. But he's been with Trick Williams for a while now. And Ricky Saints was, hey, when I beat you, does your little friend come with it? Does your little sidekick come with that belt when I beat you? It was a funny segment. If you hadn't seen it, go check it out. But I don't see Trick losing the title quite yet, but I can also see there's a lot of flips on this that you'll hear me talk about today. But it wouldn't shock me to see Ricky take it either, because they seem like they're high on him, bringing him up from NXT. And to me, that another loss for Ricky Saints would kind of cool that momentum. But on the flip side of it, you can cool Trick down too as well. And play devil's advocate. Maybe the whole Little Yachty thing was a way for Little Yachty to turn and go with Ricky Saints. Who the hell knows?
I don't know.
So what do you think? I know you heard it. I know you're here for moral support, but you got some opinions, and you're an opinionated Canadian. Come on now.
But it's hard to make opinions of a product I'm not too like. I know Ricky Starks. I know there's a lot of people that are not so high on him when it comes in the Fed. I don't know what the problem is, so I don't like. But I don't know. I don't like. I see what you're saying, but it's like, would a loss really in WWE modern day? Does a loss really kill someone's momentum? Does that really like murder someone's upswing if they just happen to lose to another person who's equally or more skilled? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear you. I guess to me, it's you can lose, and like perfect example, Steve Austin and Bret Hart. You can lose a match and come out better on the other end for losing the match. It's in the way it's done. And, you talk about Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints. I don't know if it's not being high on him from what I've heard, but, and of course, it's not nothing they're ever going to come out and say, but it's just the history of the WWF, WWE. Ricky looks great. He talks great, but he's little. And, Trick Williams is he's you look at him, like we've talked about Trick before. He's serviceable in the ring. He's highly entertaining, highly charismatic, and he's built like a brick shit house. He's about 6'4", 5'6", whatever he is. He towers over Ricky Starks, which a lot of people do. I mean, Ricky's a small guy, and that goes back to our whole land of the giants thing, and that we've talked about before with the Fed. I mean, so I don't think it's people lacking confidence in Ricky Starks. It's just it's a size thing to me. What say you?
I mean, like, it's an immediate story. Like, I don't have the mindset of like, oh, he's bigger, therefore he wins. It's like, well, how interesting would it be for, you know what I mean? I still have that mind state of like, I totally think a junior heavyweight could beat a heavyweight. That's why we have like open weight divisions in a lot of federations. So why not? Like, I don't understand if Trick Williams were to lose to Ricky Saints, but in a clever or athletically done way where you can go, wow, I was beaten by the better team tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would never, I don't know, that shouldn't hurt someone.
Well, I agree. It's all in the way it's done. I agree wholeheartedly, 150%. It's all in the way it's done. And, I don't know. I mean, like, so whether it's Triple H just having a brain fart and forgetting how to book, which seems to be what a lot of people think, or if it's TKO coming in and telling him what he can and can't do, things have not been done well in quite a while. And so I have no faith in it, if it's done that way. Like I said, maybe little yachty turns because of a little interaction on SmackDown, whatever. I just have no faith that it would be done well. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's like the old, Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope thing with George Foreman. And then, the whole thing, they kind of redid that scene in Rocky when he beat Mr. T in Rocky 3 when he had to come back and win. The little athletic guy, not little, but smaller athletic guy, wears the big guy out, and then he can, especially in wrestling, you got to get him down for a 3 count. It's not the boxing 10 count.
That's it.
Whatever, you get them rolled up, you get them out of breath, whatever, 1, 2, 3. It can be quick, come out of nowhere. Again, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Done correctly, no, it does not hurt anybody. But again, we go back to done correctly. The one that I don't really care too much about is the championship. I mean, I guess that's going to be the main event: Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sami Zayn. And it's one of those that I can see either a man coming out. Kevin Owens was brought up last night on SmackDown. Cody brought him up in a promo battle back with Sami Zayn. He's, told Sami that he couldn't believe he was best friends with Kevin Owens because at least Kevin would have come out and stabbed him in the front and told him what he was going to do and then done it. And, the other big difference was Kevin had been WWE champion before. So, I mean, he was cutting pretty low on Sami. And this will be Sami's second attempt at getting the title in Saudi Arabia. So that goes back to where, if Sami loses again, this is where it kind of gets repetitive for me. It's like how long can you keep somebody at the top if you keep having them lose over and over and over and over again? All 3 of them have history, and again, Saudi Arabia, I can see Sami winning, I can see Gunther winning, I can see Cody keeping the title. And to be quite honest with you, I'm kind of getting to your point. I just don't care. I think it'll be a decent match. Gunther's, he's an amazing technical wrestler for terms of today, for which he's the rest of the roster. Cody, QB1, the Golden Boy, whatever you want to call him, and Sami Zayn. It's like he looked. We've talked about the bloodline and how stale it got, or what are they doing with it now, or whatever. But the one person in all that I feel bad for is Sami Zayn, because once the bloodline was over and he was out of that for a while, it's like they just, him and Kevin feuded again. It's like they just keep regurgitating stuff with Sami, and I like Sami Zayn, but I don't know. They've never felt like they had a true direction for him, other than
apparently consistency is hard. I don't understand how you can't put someone like that, take someone like that, put him in a faction, and just have the faction like there. You know what I mean? You don't have to have them always being in these big, drawn-out stories or productions. Sometimes you can just say, hey, guess what? Sami's going to be here tonight. He's going to be entertaining, but it's going to be a short little multi-man to open the show. Like, why does it have to be like poof? Sometimes everyone goes, where is Dragon Lee? Where is that might be a bad example because I think he popped up recently, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of names where people go, wait, where's this person? Why haven't they been on TV in forever?
Well, I'll tell you, Sami Zayn makes the great underdog story, and I've never thought he did a good job as a heel. I was trying to remember back years ago if Generico was ever a heel, and I don't think he was in Ring of Honor. But Sami Zayn makes a great baby face. He makes a great come up underneath guy. And the story of him always coming that close, kind of like the Tommy Dreamer stuff back in ECW.
I was just about to say, is that a main event? I love Sami Zayn. I don't want to shit on him because, like, in the grand scale of things, he is a main event talent. But is that really your main event talent in WWE right now?
No, but here's my point to that. I don't. Okay. The whole heel thing turning. Sammy's been there long enough to where I think if you work it to a point to give him that feel good moment of a world title or a WWE title, that you've already got your story planned to where, he doesn't cheat to win somehow, some way. The guy runs into the turnbuckle, exposed, whatever. The person on the outside goes to interfere for the other one, but they have the mishap, and Sammy gets his feel good moment. He wins the title, and within 30 to 45 days, he's dropped it back. He got his feel good moment, but then he's back. I've tasted that once. I'm coming at, but and you keep him in his role of, you get what I'm trying to say.
Mick Foley.
Yeah, like Mick got his. What was he? He's a 3-time champion, wasn't he? WWE champion 3 times.
Well, I was thinking back to the butts and seats moment. Yeah, where it was like they gave him the belt, and it was like, we got to get it off you because you're obviously not the face of the company.
Yeah, but you look over time and how many transitional champions that companies have had. I mean, I still don't know the story of this one. I'm sure you can probably find it now, but Winey held at 80. I want to say it was 81. 82 maybe, but they put the belt on Tommy Rich for a week. He beat Harley Race for the NWA.
I was thinking one of the old moments that the OGs always talk about is like, why was the Sheik champion? It's like, well, they had to get it off Hogan to put it on Bob Backlund, and they needed someone in the middle. And Sheiky was
vice versa.
Oh, right. But it was like Sheiky at least was credible. You know what I mean? Like if anything goes sour, Sheiky can hold himself until the transfer. But yeah, there's always been guys like that because it's just
the funny thing about it too is they were all, especially Vince Senior was so high on Backlund. It was a 5 or 6 year run he had as champion, and his Arnold Skolman throws in the towel for him to lose to Sheik, and you never saw him again for like 20 years, like to the mid 90s when he came back as Mr. Backlund and. He flipped out and was putting Bret Hart in the chicken wing and all that shit. But,
I love that. You know how you stop that? You put all the names on the side plates because now you're pressured. You can't give it to everyone because there's only so much room on the side plates.
Yeah. Well, that being said about Sammy, I think this would be if he was not a heel. I would much rather see it with him as a babyface as a feel good moment, but. That taking that out of the equation, this would be the place to give Sammy the title because it is a triple threat. Well, excuse me, 3-way, whatever you want to call it. There's several different ways that you can put the title on him without making the other two look bad. The whole triple threat stuff. That's the no DQ and a triple. I mean, all that crap they do. But being Saudi Arabia, that's the religious part for Sammy. That would be the time to do it. I just wish if they were going to do it today that he was a true babyface to embrace that moment in that land. But like I said, to me, this would be the place to do it. So I don't know. But there's a lot of. I think I told you. There's a lot of on this one because all right, King of the Ring final, and the winner gets to challenge the champion of their choice, Jey Uso versus Oba Femi, and to just say that out loud. It seems like Oba should walk in the ring and 2 minutes later be walking back. The way they positioned Oba Femi. He squashed Brock Lesnar. Yes, he just lost to Brock Lesnar, but he squashed Brock Lesnar. It took Brock Lesnar 7 F5s, one of them through a table, to beat him the last time. So to just say Oba versus Jey Uso would be like, yeah, I can go piss and be back. That match is going to be over. However, I think, in my opinion on this one, I think you're going to see Jey Uso somehow, some way go to challenge Cody, because I know the ultimate end game is Oba versus Roman, but it's too soon. They're not ready for that yet. They want to finish building Oba. And I think what you're going to see is a Brock Lesnar interference to set up their next match, to cause Jey Uso one way or the other to win this match. Now, I could be completely wrong. They might let Oba go squash him.
You think Brock's showing up to Saudi Arabia, or do you think Paul Heyman's going to do the job because Brock said, "Nah, I'm not going"?
Oh, who knows? I don't. I'm like I said, in just from the outside looking in, it should be a squash match. Oba walks back. He challenges Roman Monday night for SummerSlam. But again, I know that's their ultimate end game for like maybe WrestleMania for Roman versus Oba, but you can't let Jey Uso beat the guy clean. I mean, not with the plans they have for him. Like I said, and for all intents and purposes, just looking at it, it should be a squash match. But Oba,
and we know it's not going to be 27-minute tournament final classic, because I don't think either of those guys are capable of doing that. I for some reason, when I see Oba, everyone told me to watch Oba, and when I see Oba, I'm like, is he limited? Is there a reason that, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of look around, I'm like, is there a reason for this? Like, Brock's match that I saw with him, and I think I saw a couple other ones where it was like, he only does a couple things, you know what I mean? He's sort of like, he's got a pose, he's got a look, he's got a thing, but when he gets in the ring, when the bell rings, I kind of go, do they know something sort of missing in ring for him that they still have to, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think he's one of those that could have probably used more time in NXT. I mean, he looks amazing. He's over like crazy. The crowd loves him. But again, how long can you keep somebody in NXT? He had been so dominant in NXT from day one. And, how long can you keep him there without people giving up on them? So I think, I'm sure there's a lot of, he had a lot of stuff. What's he been like? Him and Sol Ruka came in about the same time, training wise, like 3-4 years ago, and started the whole, NIL program. But like I say, he looks like $1 million. He's very affluent in the languages. He talks plain on the mic. He's got that gravelly voice, and the crowd loves him. And I mean, I don't know if it's he can't do much, or it's a protection of him to make somebody where they're not taking him too far. But as big as he is, I mean, does he really need to be doing a whole lot?
I mean, like, in my eyes, yeah, like, it would be good. Okay, so this is my mindset of like, this is wrestling. So at the end of the day, the bell has to ring, and you have to perform in the ring and tell stories. If you're a limited storyteller, that's fine. But I feel like, can we be honest about that? Like, Oba's not going to do G1 matches. Oba's not going to do, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I look at him, I can already see the sort of limitations of stories that they can or will maybe tell. Like, slash. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like, okay, if he's not going to work, then he's going to be like Goldberg, but without the working charm of Goldberg. Because like Goldberg was almost the same as Oba. Let's say it's a rough translation, but Goldberg would take your head off, legit. And for people like me, fans like me, I'd go, oh. So as limited as Goldberg was, there was moments between the ring where I can go, oh, remember that spear where he literally killed a man? Like, when I watch Oba, I don't see that same in-ring physical charm that I see from other big men like Aaron Wolf or Bad Luck Fale, or even what do you guys call him? WWE Tonga?
Oh, Hikuleo.
Hikuleo had great work as a big man, but it was work as a big man.
Well, I tell you what we need to do. Let's start some kind of online petition. I know he can't go full time anymore, but let's pull William Regal out of retirement and put him on a 7-minute match on Raw with Oba, and see how Oba can do with his lordship.
Well, we all know how that's going to go, because even when Regal was Regal, he never was like the best wrestler he could be. Only when they're like, here's Finley, he's like, yes, finally.
Now, do you not remember that debacle with Goldberg?
Honestly, when you said Oba and Regal, I thought of the brass knuckles with the Big Show, because that's what I think of when I think of Regal, is that over the top physical pantomime, that stuff. But
go find that when you get bored, just to listen to him talk about it. Bischoff had told Regal to go out there and go 7 minutes with Goldberg when they were.
I've heard
trying
this.
To put him over, and Regal just made Goldberg look silly. And then Regal gets to the back, he gets bitched at for it. He's like, what did you want him to do with that? You told me to take him 7 minutes. I did. But anyway.
And that's a reality of professional wrestling, unfortunately.
But yeah, so I can, because with Jey Uso winning, there's a story to be told with him going against, challenging Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sami Zayn, because he beat Gunther at Mania for the world title, made Gunther tap, and then of course the history with him and Sami, him and Cody being former tag champions together, and of course all that stuff with the bloodline before the Usos and broke away from Roman, blah blah blah. So there's stories there for all three of them if Jey Uso wins. There's no real story with three of them if Oba wins. That's going to be straight to Roman. And I don't think they're ready for that, but we'll see. I mean, it's the Fed, as you like to call it, and anything they do really just doesn't surprise me, and not in a good way. We talked about this one, Io Sky and Liv Morgan for the Queen of the Ring, and you were talking about Liv being the Women's World Champion, and I thought about that. The last time that I remember something like this was when Brock was WWE Champion, and he wanted to face Roman again, and Roman told him no, and he went out and entered the Royal Rumble as the WWE Champion, and he was just dominant there for he eliminated like 8-9 people really quick, and then they did the whole, like when Maven eliminated the Undertaker. I forgot who eliminated Brock, but it wasn't something major. It was like he got kicked over the ropes or something, and him and Heyman were both standing there. He did like the Undertaker Kane, flip back over the rope and like landed on his feet and like in shock. But that's where the whole undisputed title thing came from, because he did wind up wrestling Roman, of course, who was Universal Champion. Roman won, had both titles forever today, blah, 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 blah. But this could go either way for me. I mean, you might, do they want to do champion versus champion with Liv and Rhea? Possibly. Or do they want to tell the story of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley, who Io left the Kabuki Warriors and helped Rhea through all her stuff. So either way, there's, whatever, but I think you're going to see Io Sky win this match. It might be because one of the Judgment Day members turns on Liv Morgan finally, but somehow, some way, I think you're going to see Io win. Your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a tough one. These two are completely in my blind spot, so I don't. I'm just going to say Io wins because I know her history, and I'd rather her get a little bit more love.
Well, Io's great in the ring. I'm not big on her character. The whole, she smiles too much for me. You've had a lot happen to you. Can we show a little bit of an Oscar Bean streak, just like this much? And but I will say, I will give kudos to Liv Morgan, because I never saw. I told my wife this last night. I never saw that coming with Liv. And what I mean by that is when they debuted Liv, she was with the Riot Squad with Sarah Logan and Ruby Riot, and they by far, you could tell, favored Logan and Riot. And Liv was kind of like over here as she's with them too. And I never saw her getting to this level. Whether whether you like her in-ring skills, whatever, I never saw her being that heat magnet that she's become. And so kudos to her. I mean, for hard work, I'm sure, and maybe a little something in the back, who knows? But no, I see Io going over on this one. But if Liv won, I also would not be surprised. So. And then we got Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. And I don't care. I don't care about either one of them. I mean, I don't. Tiffany said several times, this is the kind of shit in pro wrestling that makes me mad. Is when I don't care if your ultimate goal was to make it to Hollywood or whatever. But I mean, Tiffany's done come out on several different interviews and said she was just here to try to propel her to that next thing. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but don't shit on it while you're there. And but Jade, I was interested to see what WWE would do with Jade, but she's the same performer she was in AEW. She might have learned a thing or two, but it's the same presentation, it's the same music, it's the same moves, it's the same matches. So all she did basically was go for more money and bigger exposure on certain aspects of when they go to places like Saudi Arabia, the WrestleMania. She got a WrestleMania match, but she's the same. In my opinion, she's the same person she was, not person, performer she was in AEW. So again, I just don't want to. I don't care.
It's to be fair to Jade Cargill. Why grow? She has all the tools that she needs to succeed in the Fed. So, in her eyes, why would I need to you know what I mean? Like The Miz is a good example of like The Miz got to a certain point in ring work, and then he's like, yeah, I'm good. Is he a Misawa? Is he a Okada? Is he a Kobashi? Well, if you look at how many years experience he has, you go, well, maybe. You know what I mean? I think she kind of hit a level where she goes, look, they don't need me to be this. They don't need me to be telling these type of stories. They need me to pose. They need me to be there. They need me. You know what I mean? So it's like the skills she has are applicable for the company she's in. Why elaborate in any other direction if you don't need to?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I'm built, and I'm not in her position by any stretch. But if I was in her position, in the back of my head, I would want to be training my ass off and learning every day. So if I got put in the ring with,
but she's also like Tiffany Stratton, where she said that wrestling isn't like the boyhood dream. You know what I mean? Like, for lack of a better expression.
But I hear you.
We have two people that are on equal standings in what they're doing, and to me, I'm like, well, if they were in Ring of Honor in 2005, I'd go something's wrong. But they're in WWE in 2026, right? We're like, this is where they should be. This is what they should be doing. This is where they, you know what I mean? To me, I don't see the problem because that's the company that applies that best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, but this is where I'll play devil's advocate with that. When she left AEW, now granted, they've added a lot of women performers, a lot of good women performers since Jade left. Mm-hmm. There were not a lot of good women performers when Jade was still there. Chris was there. I'm not even sure. I think Tony was there, but I don't think she had started the ascension that she's been on since. But I would want to be. I would leave that instead of making it look like a unilateral move, and I'm just resting on my laurels and what I had. I would want to, hey, watch what I can do. I'm going to go over here and have one of these Charlotte Rhea matches that everybody talks about for the women. That's what not every night. You don't have to go do it every night, but just to go show that I could also do it. Hey, you said I was this. Look at what I can do. But that doesn't seem to be their mindset. So, all right, we got 5 minutes of showtime, so let's get to the last one. I think this will by far be the match of the night. Braun Breaker, Little Steiner versus Seth Rollins. And just once on Netflix, because we're not on regular cable, just one time, and I'll be happy and I'll quit bitching about it. Somebody announce this man as Seth motherfucking Rollins. Just one time.
It'll never happen.
You let Cody drop the F-bomb once, so just let it be him. I don't care. Kind of like Max using the F-bomb a couple of times on different.
Okay, so here's a technical distinction. What is in like a production standpoint, or like let's take a step back from professional wrestling? What is the difference between Raw and a PLE in Netflix's eyes? Is there you know what I mean? Like, is one a TV show and one's not a TV show because of reason? Like, I'm curious because they're all a television. Because that's how. Okay, so if they're all television, like TV, if it's all television shows, they all have to apply by television standards, and I don't think they're allowed any, or you have to pay a fine or something. But if you're a movie or an event, like a concert, like in a live, like if Netflix distinguishes them as a separate live event instead of the television show, I know this is tedious, but hopefully you know where I'm going. Then they can say them on the PLEs because WWE is trying to get that action figure kid money, right? Like, You're not gonna get that by saying Seth motherfucking Rollins. Like,
and I hear you, but on the flip side of the language, on Netflix with the live comedy specials like the roast of Tom Brady, the live comedy specials you see that they're dropping them left and right. If you watch the ESPN app when they're doing interviews, I mean they're cursing through the interviews, not like a wrestling promo cursing, but just in like normal conversation like you and I are. So it's there. Like I said, I think it would be hysterical. That's why I hear what you're saying. I just want to hear it one time. But anyway, this will be the match of the night to me. I mean, these guys, they've been going at it on and off for, almost a year now with their storyline with the Vision and Rollins getting hurt, coming back, blah, 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 blah. I don't know which one of them wins. If Breaker wins, and where's Rollins go from there? If Rollins wins, what's the Vision? Because they just took the tag titles off of the Vision on Monday with the Street Profits winning them. But like I said, I think the fans will be the winner on this one because this will be the match that this will be the one you're into because it's in a cage versus the rest of them, which I don't really see anything of anybody getting anything. I think the biggest pops will be if Brock Lesnar interferes with Jay and Oba, and if Sami Zayn wins the title. I think you're going to hear the place blow off on the roof blow off that place. But as far as just in-ring work and work rate, this is the match you want to watch, in my opinion.
I mean, Seth Rollins is in it, and I trust Seth Rollins because I've seen his Ring of Honor work and all that kind of stuff. So I don't get the hype on Braun. So part of my brain is like, have Braun lose and then dump him, get him out of the company, I'll give up on him, send him back to NXT, something. I don't know. I don't see what you guys see when I see Braun Breaker. I know that's a common thread, but when everyone goes, hey, look at this clip of his spear, I go, ugh. Like,
he's
wild
he's got some that come off real well, then other ones kind of not. So I hear you.
Like, how is he your main event if his main move he hits on a 50-50, good or bad? Like, to me, it's like, no. Push it. I know he looks great, but you can slow build these people. You don't have to, boom, shove them right up, like elbow deep.
Well, I hear you on that, but he's another one like Obafemi. He had been dominant in NXT for a few years. So what else do you do with it? You can't just leave him down there in NXT.
You tell a different story. Okay, so here's a good example. In New Japan right now, they have Aaron Wolf. He is their, not the best comparison, but for lack of a better comparison, he is their Kurt Angle. He's a judo gold medal winning in the Olympics. He's come over to wrestling, and he destroys people. But right now, he's in a feud with a faction that doesn't wrestle. They're like tricksters, and that's how they keep winning, and that's firing him up to learn more. And it's a fun little story. So, yeah, he can be dominant, but put him with an opponent that is like a wily veteran that can get one on you that doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's where he's at right now. So,
yeah. So I don't know. I just see him as one of those guys that's like, he's your main event. Let's push him back down to development for a little bit longer. Well,
I'll say this too. And the reason I keep saying that about they've been in NXT, blah blah blah, what else you do with him is people will be upset like when the NXT did their last round of cuts and Andre Chase was on there for example. Everybody, why do they? This is why they cut him. Yeah, he was funny to watch, but he had been there for a while. That character was not going to make it on the main roster. It was not going to do anything on the main roster. So what do? Do you make room for the new ones coming in to see what you got with that? Or do you keep letting him take up a spot on the roster? I liked Andre Chase. He was hysterical. But it was time to go because to me, it's shitty to say. And that's what I miss about the territories because the guys and girls could jump around into a new audience and instead of having the worldwide thing like NXT and, everybody does, but they can jump around to people that never seen them before, figure out something else that worked, why it wasn't working here. But that's not the luxury they have anymore of being able to go somewhere else and start from not scratch, but kind of take a step back and look at what was working and what wasn't and try it again. So in NXT, they're pumping them in and out with this NIL deal to see what they got. They're not going to keep them up for so long. They're either going to send them up to sink or swim, or they're going to cover. And
well, I was just about to say, I think what you're saying is true under the WWE umbrella, because if you step outside of the WWE, those options still exist. You can go. There's hundreds of companies that you can go to, and what's the expression? Sharpen your teeth. I feel like I always butcher that, but under the WWE umbrella, like, what are you going to do? Send them to Evolve and still keep them in the company? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to kind of shuffle under that umbrella. Maybe if they had some sort of better, like, I know almost he did excursion to Noah, the guy they had. Who's the big lad they just picked up in NXT that looks like a masculine lesbian? Brooke.
oh,
Something Brooke.
Yeah,
They were in Noah too. So, like, why can some, but why can't others? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm like, I look at NXT and I go, I still don't understand how this works.
Well, I told you, I told you before. My one of my favorites over the past few years in NXT has been Tony D'Angelo. But I said from day one, I'm like, this is not 1985. That Don Mafia shit's not going to work on the main roster. So when they got him out of that, and they actually just let him, start to let him be more of himself. Same name, and I don't mind the name. I think it's a pretty good name. But, got him away from the Mafia. You don't hear him making little Mafia catchphrases and stuff like that. The guy's, he was a collegiate wrestler, amateur wrestler. The guy's great in the ring. He cuts a good promo. So, once they get him done with this run, I'll be interested to see what they can do with him on the main roster as well. But, again, that's your 6 matches. Title: Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Sami Zayn, Oba and Jay, the Queen, King of the Ring, Io and Liv and the Queen. U.S. Championship, women's side, Tiffany and Jade Cargill, Trick Williams and Ricky Saints, and the men's U.S. title in the steel cage match of Seth freaking Rollins and Braun Breaker, or a little Steiner, whatever you want to call him. And so it is 2:06 right now. I'm sure they're still going through video packages. And at 2:15, you might actually see a bell ring for the first time. I don't know. But I appreciate for my moral support coming on here and do this. We're actually going to be back with you tomorrow at 6 before the pre-show comes on of AEW Forbidden Door. So big weekend in wrestling. And is anything going on in the G1 this week? Well, weekend 2 or no?
No. Day 1 is the 11th. So and that's in America. So we might have to break down the card for that show.
Absolutely.
7:30. I think it's California. I can never remember where they are, but it is on the 11th in the States. So right. Texas.
We will figure that out and do that as well. But like I said, go watch on ESPN Plus, and if you're international, it's on Netflix. And for Paul, I'm Jason. We'll see you tomorrow for AEW Forbidden Door.